Hi, this is a seed stitch lacy washcloth that I'm working on, and I'm using a yarn right here. I'll write the details of it, but it's some kind of homespun type for decorators. It looks like an I-cord made out of very fine yarn, and I'll get you the details of that in the description. But I'm using it to make this washcloth, and I've already started it here. And I want to show you these edges I'm doing in a manual seed stitch, which would be knit, purl, knit, and the next row would be purl, knit, purl, and it's the 3 stitches on the edges, and I'm hoping that that's going to keep the knitting from curling. And in the middle I have a very airy lacy type look that looks a little bit like filet crochet. And let me show you what I'm doing here. It's really important for me to remember that I'm on an odd number row right now. So on odd number rows, I need to take out the middle stitch of the 3 on either end that's seed stitch. These are the ones that I'm going to reverse. So what I do is I take my tool and I put it down underneath into the stitch below because I want to undo this top stitch here, and I hook it up here. And then I can pull this out like that. And now I'm going to take my latch tool, pull the needle all the way out, take the latch tool, and we're reversing the stitch. So I'm doing a purl stitch as if I have a ribber attached, but I don't. And the top stitch here is loose, and I'm going to put that into the hook with the previous stitch from the row below here, pull through, and then rehook it. It's a little bit labor intensive, but I'm hoping that it's worth it, and put that back in position. Now I'm going to do the other side. So we take the latch tool in here. Oops, there we go. Take that off, pull this out, and put it back on. So you're undoing the stitch, just the one stitch. And now we take the latch tool, put it on, put it through to pull both those pieces off. And now I have the completed stitch down there from the row beneath. Put this up into here and stitch through like that. Now the other thing you have to do on odd numbered rows is to transfer the stitches. Now I tried this once before, and I did an alternating pattern. Here I'm just doing these rows in straight columns. So I'm taking this one, stitch number 4 from the left, and every alternate one all the way across, and I pull them out so I know what I'm doing ahead of time. And these are my last 3, so I'm leaving those, and that's all I have to do. Now I'm taking the 3-prong portion of this tool, push it in, get them off, and then lift it and take it and put it over on the next stitches over. Like that. Take these here. You see that? Put it through, pick it up, go over. And this yarn right here is really nice for this project. It's very well behaved. It's a little bit expensive. I bought it at either AC Moore or Michael's with a discount. It's about $10 for the whole skein, and I used it like a 50% off coupon, so it's not too bad. But it does behave rather nicely. The colors, it doesn't have a very large color scheme. That's why I'm working on a variegated gray and white. Okay, so that row is almost done. Odd number rows, do the middle, 1 in from either side gets purled, and then you transfer every other stitch in the middle. I'm going every stitch to the right. Then you have to make sure you pull out all of these needles, okay, so that there's none of them are sitting all the way back out of in non-working position. All of them need to be out and go across. Now I'm on an even row. So for even rows, we need to purl these 2 here and these 2 here, and we don't have to do anything in the middle. So I'm going to do the same process. I hope you don't get bored watching this, but I think it's rather interesting. I've never done a seed stitch manually on a knitting machine, And if you use a ribber, there's no real, I mean, it's not really easy to do that. So I like to do all of them, undo all the stitches first, all the way across, grabbing the loop down below from the previous row, hook it on, pull them out. I did notice one of the little potential errors of doing this is you have to watch the tension on this left side. Mine seems to be really loose. The stitches on this side seem to be a lot looser than the other side. Let's undo these two. Nope, they're all undone. Good. Now I grab my latch tool. I'm going to start down here. Put this inside the hook. Oops. Go through. Latch that up in the opposite direction. Do the same thing here. Oops. Right there. Pull through. Hook it. I like my hand going right in front of the camera. Go across the other side. Latch hook in the other hook. Straight through. There we go. All right, and now we're going to knit across again and repeat those 2 rows. Now I'm on row 13, so I want to do, it's odd number, these 2 here, and every one in between we need to do. So we'll start out undoing this, and undoing this one, latch them up, hook, in hook, down. So this is as if you were the ribber knitting this, and I'm a little bit spatially challenged, but I think this is correct. Knitting machine makes a lot more sense to me than it does holding needles in my hand, knitting needles in my hand. All right, and I'm going to tighten this up a little bit by pulling back. Good, and this one unstitched when I pulled it. So we'll restitch that. Okay, moving this up, both sides. I really like the lacy look in here for something like a washcloth. All right, now since this is an odd row, we also have to do every one of these moved over. We're going to do that again, and then I think I'll have you rejoin me when I'm almost done this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them. I'm going from left 15 to right 15 for this washcloth, okay? And I'm on row 13. So now I'm going to transfer, pull out the ones that I want to move to the right, push them in, and go over, hook. You could probably use a garter bar if you have a garter bar that is, we just lost one, so let's grab this. Here, if you have a garter bar for a bulky machine, I don't know that they're very common. They might be, but there we go. This to me is a little bit easier than working with a garter bar, but if you're an expert with garter bars, you probably wouldn't be watching my videos. So, but we're all here to learn from each other. And if you have any suggestions, give me a holler. I did see something like this done by somebody else, and I thought that's really cool. So I'm trying my own little version of it. All right, going across. And now we're on an even number. I'm going to do 2 on either end, nothing to the middle, and I'll see you in a few seconds when I finish up the end of it. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Well, I've knitted 36 rows, and I found the information sheet on the type of yarn that I'm using. It's called Bernat Maker Home Deck, and it's 72% cotton, 28% nylon, 8.8 ounces. I believe it was $10, $9.99 for it, and then I used a coupon. But it seems like it's going to go a long way because I've hardly used anything. This is my second washcloth, so you might be able to get a lot of washcloths out of this, and it performs rather well. So here we have what I have so far up to page 36, row 36. I don't know whether this is going to be helpful or not, but when you flip through and you reverse stitches, can you see that there's a nubby here on this row, a nubby here and here, and there's no nubby here? So these guys would be facing one direction and this is the opposite. So let's say these are on this side here. This is the purl stitch. So it's knit facing me, purl knit, I believe. I stink at this. But hey, and then it's the opposite. The important thing I was going to say is, if you look at the nubbies, they're here and here, and on this row it's only one here. Next row, here and here, not here. Here and here. And then on this row here, I need to do these two. So I'm going to do that real quick. Show you how I finish up these guys. I'm going to do these last two. Also, while I was working on this, I realized you could do it like this and just take the latch tool and put it in here, through here, pull this off, and then latch it and rehook it. That might be a little bit faster. Sometimes you learn these things by doing them. Take it down here, all the way through, remove that, bring this up. This works a little bit faster than doing it, taking it off and putting it back on. I'm going to do the other side now. And then knit 2 more rows and take it off. Down here. I have to turn our other light on. This here, move that, stitch it, put it back on. Over here, go inside this, remove it, latch it back up again. Okay, let me turn the light on. See if that helps. All right, I'm going to change this to tension 10. I was working on tension 7. So I'm switch 10. That's row 37, 38. And now to get this off. And I really want to crochet it off. Let's go with this. Let's try that. I want it to be kind of loose. And I'm hoping this will look halfway decent. So I'm taking the stitch off and crocheting through, then crocheting through the loose end, and then going to the next one. Carrying, I don't know what you call this, but go through the stitch that's on the hook, go through the yarn, stitch on the hook, yarn, stitch on the hook, tighten it, into the yarn. Okay, we'll come back when I'm done doing this, and I'll turn it over and show you what it looks like. Okay, I took it off the machine. Here's the bottom, the top. This is the reverse side. When I knitted it, it was like this on the machine, and you can kind of tell that this is the edge I was saying was a little bit loose. When I was doing the stitching up on the one side, this side looks nice and tight and neat. So when I flip it, the other thing I notice is that it's angling off. I'm not sure if you have any ideas of why that's doing that, but I'm going to guess it's because when I moved the stitches over, I always went left to right. And that's my guess. So you might want to alternate going left to right and right to left to get these to look better. It may block out nice. I do like this stitch right here. That's all knit, whereas on this edge it's the seed stitch, alternating knit, purl, knit, knit, purl, knit. Over here it has a gap, so it kind of would be nice to keep 3 and then 1 stitch like this before you start up. That would be kind of cool too. Anyway, this is my little washcloth using an airy technique, lace technique, manual lace technique. Hope you like it, and you should try out this yarn sometime. It's pretty nice. All right, hit the thumbs up button, put your comments down below, and talk to you later.